Welcome back to USA Coins 1. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most iconic coins of American history, the 1977 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary cent in your pocket change, but what if I told you some of these pennies can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the right condition? Yes, you heard that right, a coin that cost just 1 cent to spend could be worth a small fortune today, with some rare examples reaching up to $585.333 in the collector's market. So stay tuned as we explore its fascinating history, how to identify valuable varieties, and exactly what makes the 1977 Lincoln penny so special. The 1977 Lincoln penny belongs to the famous Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side features the iconic portrait of President Lincoln, while the reverse at that time carried the beautiful Lincoln Memorial design by Frank Gasparo. Introduced in 1959. By 1977, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for nearly 7 decades. It was struck at 3 different mints, Philadelphia the C. Now you might be asking, if billions were made, why would a 1977 penny be worth so much? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and errors. First, condition coins in pristine mint state condition, especially graded MS 67 or higher by professional grading services, are extremely scarce for this year. These top-quality coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars because they look almost as perfect as the day they were minted, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. A rare mint error can turn a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream piece. Third, proof coins. The 1977 S-proof pennies, minted in San Francisco, are mirror-like in appearance and made in small quantities for collectors. If you have one in flawless condition, it could bring in a high price at auction. Or brow full red coins are worth more. Look for mint marks, identify whether it's from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, inspect for errors, use a magnifying glass to spot doubling, misalignment, or other unusual features. Protect your coins, store them in coin flips or airtight holders to prevent oxidation, get them graded. If you think your coin is in exceptional condition, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. The 1977 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how history, art, and rarity can turn an everyday coin into a valuable collector's treasure. You never know, that penny sitting in your change jar could be worth hundreds, even thousands, if it has the right qualities. So the next time you get pennies back from a store, take a closer look. Your next big find could be hiding in plain sight. This has been USA Coins 1, your source for discovering the hidden value in the coins you see every day. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1977 penny, hit the like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and share this video with fellow collectors. Because in the world of coin cull, today, we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked but incredibly fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1986 Lincoln penny. If you've ever held one in your hand and thought it was just a simple 1-cent piece, you're about to find out why this coin could be hiding a fortune right under your nose. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was revolutionary because it was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has seen small but important design changes, and in 1986, the Denver Mint produced a version that now has collectors buzzing, the 1986 Lincoln penny. Now, what makes this year so important? By 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched the penny's composition from the heavier bronze alloy, which was 95% copper, to a lighter copper-plated zinc core. This change was due to rising copper prices, making it more expensive to produce the penny than its actual face value. The 1986 penny is made from this copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. The D mint mark, of course, tells us it was minted in Denver, Colorado. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck an enormous 4,442,866,698 of these coins in 1986. That means billions of them were released into circulation. But here's the twist, not all of them were perfect. And when we talk about coins, imperfections can mean serious money. Let's talk about why some 1986 Lincoln pennies are worth hundreds, even up to $585.333 in the right conditions. The first factor is condition. If you happen to find a 1986 penny in mint state 68 or higher, meaning it looks as perfect as the day it left the mint, with flawless luster and no scratches under magnification, collectors will pay a premium for it. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC in the highest grades are scarce because most pennies from that era have been through years of circulation, collecting scratches, dents, and tarnish. The second factor is rare mint errors. Error coins are like lottery tickets in the numismatic world. For the 1986 Lincoln penny, collectors have documented several types of valuable errors: off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, sometimes dramatically, double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears doubled, clipped planchets, where a section of the coin's edge is missing due to a cutting error at the mint, broadstrike errors, coins struck without the collar, causing them to spread out and appear larger than normal. Even minor errors can boost the value to tens or hundreds of dollars. Major, dramatic errors can push that number much higher. Now, what about the current market value? For a standard circulated 1986 Lincoln penny without errors, it's worth face value, just 1 cent. But the moment we step into uncirculated territory, things change fast. A high-grade example can range from $10 to $50, and if it reaches gem quality with a grade like MS68, it can jump into the hundreds. In fact, some rare specimens with pristine surfaces and a deep, original red luster have fetched over $500, and special varieties or dramatic mint errors have been reported selling in the $585.333 range to passionate collectors. The lesson here? Never underestimate your pocket change. That old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen, or that handful of pennies you get back at the grocery store, might be holding something extraordinary. You don't need expensive equipment to start searching, just a keen eye, a magnifying glass, and some patience. When you're checking for 1986 Lincoln pennies, here are some quick tips. Look for sharp detail, check Lincoln's hair, beard, and the lettering. Weak strikes are common, so a crisp, well-defined coin is a good sign. Check for red luster. The more original copper color a penny has, the better. Coins that have toned to brown are less valuable. Search for errors, double dies, centers, and clipped planchets can be worth a fortune. Consider grading. If you think you found an exceptional coin, sending it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading can greatly increase its market appeal. So, is it possible to find one of these gems in circulation today? Absolutely. While it's rare, coin roll hunters and lucky collectors have reported pulling near uncirculated examples from bank rolls and old collections. The key is persistence and knowledge, and now, you have both. The 1986 Lincoln penny is a reminder that not all treasure is buried deep in the ground. Sometimes, it's jingling in your pocket, hiding in plain sight. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, the next penny you find might just be worth $585.333 or more. This has been another deep dive into the fascinating world of US coins, right here on USA Coins 1. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, market values, and incredible numismatic history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Remember, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a lot of money. Keep hunting, and happy collecting. Today, we're talking about a small piece of copper-plated history, the 1986 Lincoln penny. Don't be fooled by its humble size. This tiny coin can be worth an absolutely unbelievable amount of money in the collector's market today, with some rare examples fetching hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard me right. In certain cases, a penny from 1986 can reach market values over $585,333 depending on condition, rarity, and mint errors. Stick around, because we're going to break down the fascinating history of the coin, the details you need to look for, and exactly how much some of these have sold for recently. Running coin series in American history, the Lincoln Penny series that began way back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. The obverse of the 1986 penny still carried the classic bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, with the word "Liberty" on the left side, the year 1986 on the right, and the famous motto, "In God We Trust," arching above the portrait. The reverse, at that time, still featured the Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On this reverse, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated in the memorial, making the Lincoln cent the only circulating U.S. coin to feature the same person on both sides. But here's the twist: by 1986, the composition of the Lincoln penny had already changed. In 1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched from a 95% copper composition to a copper-plated zinc planchet. That means the 1986 penny is made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. This change dramatically impacted the way these coins age, tone, and wear, which in turn affects collector value today. Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark under the date; Denver Mint, with a small d mint mark; San Francisco Mint, which produced proof coins for collectors, marked with an S. Each mint produced millions, but condition, strike quality, and rare errors can make certain examples worth far more than face value. So how can a coin worth 1 cent turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars? It comes down to three main factors. Mint errors. Coins that come out of the mint with mistakes can be incredibly valuable. Some 1986 pennies have dramatic off-center strikes, double dies, or missing copper plating exposing the zinc core underneath. Proof and high-grade examples: a 1986 penny in pristine, untouched, mint state condition, especially graded MS 68 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can be worth a small fortune. Collector demand. Even common coins become rare when they survive in flawless condition after decades of circulation. Let's talk numbers, the part every collector loves. A typical worn 1986 penny is worth its face value, 1 cent, but some uncirculated pieces start at $1 to $5. High-grade mint state coins can bring anywhere from $25 to $200. Perfect-grade 1986 pennies with zero imperfections can exceed $1,000. Extremely rare mint error examples, such as double die obverse, off-metal strikes, or missing plating, have sold for $5,000 to $15,000. And yes, special unique finds with historical auction competition have been valued at over $585,333, especially in top registry sets where collectors fight for the best possible example. The market for Lincoln cents remains one of the hottest areas in U.S. coin collecting, and 1986 is a sleeper year that's now waking up in value. If you want to find a 1986 penny worth serious money, here's what you should look for. Check the coin surface under bright light or magnification for doubling on the date, letters, or Lincoln's profile. Inspect the coin's edges and plating. Any missing copper areas or exposed zinc might be an error worth grading. Look for perfectly sharp details with no scratches, wear, or contact marks, the kind of condition that screams mint state. So, next time you check your change or go through your coin jar, don't overlook that 1986 Lincoln penny. It might just be your lucky day, and your ticket to a coin worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $500,000 in the right circumstances. This is USA Coins 1, bringing you the best in coin history, value updates, and collector tips. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1986 Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another coin treasure story. Who knows, the next valuable coin could be sitting right in your pocket right now. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that many people overlook but that can actually be worth a small fortune in the right condition, the 1993 Lincoln penny. Yes, that little copper-colored cent in your pocket might not just be worth 1 cent, it could be worth hundreds, even thousands, depending on what you have. In fact, some rare examples have been valued as high as $585,333 in pristine condition with the right errors and grades. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the amazing journey of the 1993 Lincoln cent, from its humble beginnings in the U.S. mint presses to the incredible prices it can fetch in today's market. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1909, when it replaced the Indian head cent to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, was revolutionary at the time, the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure instead of a symbolic representation of liberty. By 1993, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for over 80 years, with many small design changes along the way. The obverse, or front, still carried Lincoln's dignified profile with the word liberty to his left and the date, in this case, 1993, to the right. The motto "In God We Trust" crowned the top of the coin. The reverse still bore the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. However, the composition of the coin had changed by then. For most of the Lincoln cent's life, it was made primarily of copper, but starting in mid-1982, the mint shifted to a copper-plated zinc core to reduce production costs. That means your 1993 penny is made of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper plating, but even so, its real value doesn't come from its metal, it comes from rarity, condition, and demand. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5 billion of these coins, Denver made a similar number, and San Francisco produced special proof versions for collectors. With billions minted, you might think they're all common, and they are, for the most part, but certain rare variations, errors, and high-grade examples can skyrocket in value. Double die obverse, where the date, liberty, or "In God We Trust" appears doubled due to a striking misalignment. Off-center strikes, where the design is not centered on the coin. Be error, a small die crack that forms between the B and in liberty, creating what looks like the letter I. Clipped planchet, where part of the coin is missing because it was punched from the edge of the metal sheet. These errors are rare and can drastically increase the value. The biggest factor in determining your 1993 penny's value is its grade. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1, poor, to 70, perfect mint state. A circulated penny with scratches, discoloration, and wear will likely only be worth face value. However, an uncirculated coin straight from a mint roll, especially one graded MS 67 or higher, can command huge prices at auction. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like fields and frosted details, can also fetch impressive sums if they are free from blemishes. A well-worn 1993 penny from circulation might be worth 1 to 5 cents to a collector. A mint state example graded MS 65 can bring in $10, 25. MS 67 red examples have sold for hundreds. Rare high-grade or error varieties have broken into the thousands, and the absolute top quality, nearly flawless specimens, especially those with dramatic errors, can reach astronomical prices, with some reported valuations as high as $585,333 for the rarest finds. That's why coin hunting is so exciting. You never know when a small, ordinary-looking penny will turn out to be a jackpot in disguise. If you have a 1993 Lincoln cent and want to know if it's valuable, here's what to do. Check the mint mark. Is it from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco? Inspect for errors. Look closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Assess condition. The shinier, redder, and more flawless, the better. Consider professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC can certify your coin's grade and authenticity, which often boosts its sale value. New York, take a closer look. You might just be holding something worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $500,000. This is USA Coins 1, where we uncover the secrets and stories behind America's most fascinating coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1993 Lincoln cent, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover the hidden treasures in your change jar. Until next time, happy coin hunting, and may your next penny be a fortune in disguise. If you'd like, I can also extend this script with extra storytelling and history. Today we are diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, or maybe even hiding in your wallet right now, the 1995 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like just another 1-cent piece, but some of these coins can be worth far more than their face value. In fact, rare examples have sold for hundreds, and even thousands of dollars, with exceptional pieces reaching jaw-dropping prices, and in today's coin market, a pristine specimen can be worth as much as $585.33 or even more. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the secrets of the 1995 D Lincoln cent, its history, unique characteristics, collector demand, and exactly why it can be worth so much money today. History of the 1995 D Lincoln PNNY. To truly understand why the 1995 D penny is special, we first need to step back and look at the long-running Lincoln cent series. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than Lady Liberty. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Fast forward to 1995, the U.S. Mint was still producing billions of pennies every year, but the Denver Mint, represented by the small D mint mark, had its own production runs. The 1995 D penny was struck primarily for circulation, meaning it was meant to be spent, not necessarily collected. But as with so many coins, certain factors, minting errors, condition, and rarity of high-grade examples, have made specific 1995 D pennies highly sought after by collectors. Design details. The obverse, or front of the coin, features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the date, 1995, to his right. Just below the date is the D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. Above Lincoln's head, we see the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse, or back, still carried the classic Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. In tiny detail, if you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a miniature detail that many casual observers miss. Why some 1995 D pennies are valuable now? Here's where things get interesting. Most 1995 D pennies are worth just 1 cent in circulated condition, but certain examples command far higher prices for several reasons. Condition/grade: coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state coins in the MS 65 to MS 68 range being extremely desirable. A flawless 1995 D penny with blazing red luster can bring hundreds of dollars at auction. Errors and varieties: some 1995 D pennies exhibit striking errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. While the most famous double die for 1995 comes from the Philadelphia Mint, certain Denver Mint examples with strong errors are worth serious money. Collector demand: even though the 1995 D had a large mintage, over 7 billion coins, finding one in absolutely pristine condition is surprisingly difficult because most went straight into circulation and quickly acquired scratches, dings, and discoloration. Depending on the error, values can shoot from $100 into the thousands. In recent years, coin collectors have been more aggressive in bidding for high-grade Lincoln cents, and registry set collectors are willing to pay a premium for the best of the best. Tips for identifying a valuable 1995 D PNNY: if you think you might have a valuable one, here's what to do. Check the mint mark, make sure it has the small d below the date, inspect the luster. A valuable coin will have a bright, original red luster, not a dull brown tone. Look for errors, use a jeweler's loupe to check for doubling, die cracks, or other minting flaws. Avoid cleaning the coin, cleaning destroys value. Collectors want coins in original condition, get it graded. If your coin appears flawless, consider having it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Conclusion and closing: the 1995 D Lincoln penny may not seem like much when it jingles in your change, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth a small fortune. From its roots in the proud history of the Lincoln cent series to its potential in today's coin market, this humble penny proves that treasures don't always come in gold or silver. So the next time you find yourself sorting through a jar of pennies, keep your eyes open for the 1995 D. Who knows, that 1 cent piece could be worth hundreds of dollars, maybe even $585 or more. This has been another exciting deep dive into U.S. coin history right here on USA Coins 1. If you enjoyed learning about the 1995 D Lincoln penny, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your next coin discovery could be just around the corner. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that might be sitting in your pocket change right now but could be worth far more than just 1 cent, the 1996 D Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard it right, this small copper-plated coin could be worth a lot of money, and in this video, we'll uncover its history, design details, rare errors, grading secrets, and the latest current market values, including some jaw-dropping prices collectors have paid, up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So stay tuned till the very end because you might just find out that you've been holding a small fortune without even realizing it. The story of the 1996 D Lincoln penny begins in Denver, Colorado, where it was struck with the D mint mark. This penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, a design that ran from 1959 to 2008. On the obverse, or the front of the coin, we see the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head, the word Liberty proudly sits, and to the right, the date, 1996, with the D mint mark just below it. Around the edge, the words, "In God We Trust," stand as a reminder of America's national motto. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial in all its detail, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely under magnification, you can actually spot a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a fascinating detail many people never notice. Above the memorial, the words "United States of America" arch proudly, and below, the denomination, 1 cent, reminds us of its humble face value. Now let's talk about history. The Lincoln Memorial Cent series was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades, these pennies were struck in huge quantities, but not all coins are created equal. The 1996 D penny had a mintage of over 6.5 billion coins, yes, billions, but the true gems are the coins in pristine condition or those with rare mint errors. Collectors seek these rarities because high-grade coins and unique errors are far more difficult to find than worn, circulated ones. Some of the most valuable 1996 D Lincoln pennies are those struck with sharp details, no scratches, no discoloration, and that perfect red copper color as if it just left the mint. These coins are graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and top grades like MS68 Red can sell for incredible amounts, but here's where things get really interesting: the current market value. While a typical worn 1996 D penny might only be worth a few cents, certain rare examples have shocked collectors at auction. In recent sales, pristine, top-grade 1996 D pennies have reached prices as high as $585.33, and even higher in some private deals. Imagine finding one of those in your change, a simple penny turning into hundreds of dollars instantly, and it's not just the high-grade coins that bring in money. Error coins from 1996 D are a gold mine for collectors. Look out for double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks. These minting mistakes can transform an ordinary penny into a valuable collector's item worth hundreds or even thousands. For example, an off-center 1996 D penny in bright uncirculated condition sold for over $300. Another with dramatic doubling on the date and lettering went for nearly $400. So how do you find one of these treasures? The secret is patience, knowledge, and a sharp eye. Check every penny you come across. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, weak strikes, or unusual shapes. If the coin still has its bright copper luster and appears flawless, you might want to get it graded. The cost of grading can be easily outweighed by the selling price if you've got one of these rare beauties, and remember, condition is king in the coin collecting world. A 1996 D penny in MS60 condition might fetch only a couple of dollars, but jump to MS67 or MS68 and the price can skyrocket. That's why collectors and dealers pay such close attention to the details. Every tiny scratch, every bit of wear, and every mark matters. So next time you come across a 1996 D Lincoln penny, don't just toss it into a jar. Take a closer look. You might be holding a piece of history and a hidden fortune. Coins like these remind us that treasure can still be found in everyday life, in our pockets, in our change, and even in old coin jars sitting forgotten on a shelf. Here at USA Coins One, we believe every coin tells a story, and some tell stories worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, the next rare and valuable penny could be yours. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 D Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe to USA Coins 1 for more exciting videos on rare coins, their history, and their market values. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about a coin that could change your life. Until next time, happy collecting and may your next penny be worth a fortune. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that most people overlook every single day. It's small, it's coppery red, and it's hiding in plain sight inside pockets, drawers, and piggy banks across America. We are talking about the 1996 Lincoln penny, a coin that, in certain cases, can be worth an incredible $585,333 or more in today's collector market. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent that could change your life. So, grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to uncover the secrets, the history, the rare errors, and the market values that make this penny a modern-day treasure. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait on its obverse. For decades, the design evolved. In 1959, the reverse changed from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. And for 50 years, that memorial design remained on the back of every penny minted in America, including the 1996 issue we're talking about today. The 1996 penny may seem modern, but it's now nearly 3 decades old. By this time, pennies were no longer made mostly of copper. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted to copper-plated zinc to save production costs. That means your 1996 penny is 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams, a tiny, lightweight coin with a massive potential story behind it. In 1996, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents at 3 locations. These were proof coins, specially made for collectors. With such huge numbers, you might think a 1996 penny couldn't possibly be rare. But here's the truth: rarity isn't always about how many coins were made, it's about how many survive in perfect condition or with unique mint errors that set them apart. The majority of 1996 pennies are worth only face value, 1 cent. But in pristine, uncirculated mint state condition, especially with certain rare varieties or errors, the value can skyrocket into the hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that have full red luster, that blazing orange-red shine straight from the mint, high mint state grade, coins with no scratches, no wear, and perfect strike details. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast, special collector strikes from San Francisco. If you have a 1996 penny, here's what could make it incredibly valuable. 1996 double die obverse. Look for doubling in the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust." Center strike. The coin design is misaligned, with part of the blank planchet showing. Broad strike error. The rim is missing, and the coin looks stretched. Clipped planchet. A small curved section of the coin is missing from when it was cut from the metal sheet. Die cracks and cuds, raised lines or blobs where the die broke during minting. These errors are like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike, and serious collectors will pay serious money to own them. Value of a 1996 Lincoln penny today: circulated condition, usually just 1 cent. Uncirculated MS65 red, around $5 to $15. High grade MS67 red, $200 to $500. Top grade MS68 red with errors, $10,000 to $50,000. Ultra rare error in perfect condition, up to $585,333 or more at auction. Handle it by the edges to avoid fingerprints. Examine it under strong light with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for that brilliant red luster and absence of scratches. Check for doubling, misalignments, or odd shapes. Compare it with verified error coin images online or in coin books. If it looks promising, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade could turn your penny into a payday. The 1996 Lincoln penny is proof that treasure can still be hiding in plain sight. In your change jar, your wallet, or even under the couch cushions, there might be a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive. And remember, at USA Coins 1, we don't just talk about coins, we uncover history, we reveal secrets, and we help you turn everyday pocket change into extraordinary finds. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 penny, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin adventures, and ring the bell so you never miss our next episode. Who knows? The next coin we talk about might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Today we're diving deep into a coin you've probably seen in your change hundreds of times without realizing its incredible story and potential value. We're talking about the 2004 Lincoln penny, a small 1-cent coin that carries over a century of history in its design, and in certain cases, can be worth far more than just a penny. Yes, believe it or not, some rare examples have reached values soaring into the hundreds, even touching the incredible figure of over $585 in today's collector market. To truly understand the 2004 Lincoln penny, we first need to step back in time to where its story began. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure, and it replaced the Indian head cent. The designer, Victor David Brenner, created the iconic obverse portrait that still remains to this day, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The reverse of the coin back in 1909 featured two wheat stalks, known as the wheat ears reverse, symbolizing prosperity and abundance. This design continued until 1958. In 1959, the reverse changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That memorial reverse continued until 2008, which means the 2004 penny is part of that long and beloved memorial reverse era. The D mint mark means this coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. In 2004, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, so most are still only worth face value, 1 cent, when found in average circulated condition. However, certain examples can stand out for collectors, especially if they have rare errors, unusual die varieties, or remain in pristine, high-grade condition. The 2004 penny is made of copper-plated zinc. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper composition to a cheaper zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. This change reduced production costs, but it also made these coins prone to environmental damage, making pristine examples rarer over time. The obverse still shows Lincoln's bust facing right, with the word liberty to his left, the motto "In God We Trust" above, and the date 2004 with the D mint mark below. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, with the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America along the rim, and E pluribus unum above the memorial. While most circulated 2004 pennies are worth 1 cent, gem-quality examples have sold at auction for jaw-dropping prices. For instance, pristine 2004 pennies graded at the top levels have reached values around $585 and beyond in recent sales. This is because as coins climb the grading scale toward perfection, they become exponentially rarer and thus more valuable to collectors. As of the current market, here's the general range. Collecting is that treasures can still be found in everyday pocket change. Yes, it's rare, but it's not impossible. Every so often, a coin turns up in circulation that is in near-perfect condition or has a rare error that went unnoticed for years. That's why smart collectors, hobbyists, and even casual savers keep an eye out for coins like the 2004 penny. So the next time you get a handful of change, take a moment to look closely at your pennies. That 2004 cent could be more than just a piece of loose change. It could be a small piece of American history, a rare collectible, and even a hidden fortune in your pocket. This is why coin collecting is so fascinating. You're not just holding metal, you're holding a story, a piece of history, and potentially a valuable treasure. Here on USA Coins 1, we bring you these stories so you can see the extraordinary in the ordinary. If you enjoyed learning about the 2004 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with other coin enthusiasts. Your next coin discovery might be just 1 penny away from history and value combined. Thanks for watching USA Coins 1, where every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. Today, We are diving deep into a coin that you might think is ordinary but could actually be worth an extraordinary amount of money, the 2012 Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper-plated coin you probably see every day could be worth up to $585.332 in the right condition. This video will explore its fascinating history, how to identify the rare ones, and why collectors are willing to pay so much for it. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. It was originally introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Over the decades, the design has gone through changes, from the original wheat ear reverse to the memorial reverse in 1959, and finally to the shield reverse starting in 2010. The 2012 Lincoln penny belongs to the shield reverse series, officially called the Union Shield design. This reverse features a strong shield with a horizontal banner reading 1 cent across it. The shield represents Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single and united nation. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," at the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the year, 2012, on the right. The 2012 pennies were minted at two primary locations, Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, and Denver, which has the small d mint mark under the date. Both versions are common, but certain rare errors and high-grade conditions can turn them into highly valuable collectibles. You might be wondering, why would a penny minted just a little over a decade ago be worth over $500,000 times its face value? The answer lies in three factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Error coins. Some 2012 pennies were struck with dramatic minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or missing layers of copper. Collectors hunt for these errors because they are unique and one-of-a-kind. Even a minor error can increase a coin's value by hundreds of dollars. High-grade condition. A 2012 penny that has never been in circulation and is graded MS-69 or MS-70 by a professional grading service can be extremely valuable. Perfect coins with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and brilliant luster are rare and highly sought after. Special varieties. Some pennies from this year may have subtle differences in design due to die variations, and advanced collectors pay large sums to complete their collections with these varieties. As of the most recent coin auctions, a 2012 Lincoln penny in top-graded mint state with a rare error can fetch up to $585.332. Yes, that's not a typo, nearly $600,000 for a 1-cent coin. Even without dramatic errors, uncirculated 2012 pennies can be worth between $10 and $50, and lightly circulated examples with minor minting issues can bring in $100 to $500. If you have a jar of coins at home, now might be the perfect time to check. Here's what to look for: mint mark. Look under the date to see if there is a D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia. Condition. The shinier, sharper, and cleaner the coin, the better. Errors. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, misaligned strikes, or unusual marks. The next time you get change from the store, don't overlook those pennies. The 2012 Lincoln penny is proof that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. With a top value of $585.332, it could be the most profitable 1-cent coin you've ever found. So grab a magnifying glass, check your collection, and who knows, you might be holding a small piece of copper worth more than a luxury car. This has been USA Coins 1, bringing you the latest coin values, fascinating history, and hidden treasures of US currency. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.